What's up, Internet? How you guys doing today? My name is Josh, and welcome back to Little Eagle Gaming. Today, we're going to take a moment, we're going to talk about the Patreon server and the upcoming season of Ark Survival Evolved here on the channel. So the Patreon server is accessible to anyone who donates at the second tier, which is a $5 per month commitment. Those funds directly go to upholding the server, keeping it running, that kind of stuff. As additional funds come in, because right now my neighbor is actually supplying all the funds for that server. So as those funds come in and support that server, we will begin opening up additional servers. So keep that in mind, and let's talk about the server. So we're going to be playing on the center, and we're going to have, let's check out some rates here. We got a gather of about 10 times. We have taming at around 5 times. We have breeding at about 4 times. So your breeding is going to go about 4 times faster. Your hatching and growing will go about 2 times faster. Imprinting gives a 2 times buff, so what you would normally get on official, you'll get twice that on this server. Your experience is also sitting at about 2 times the normal experience. We're going to be running a list of about 11 different mods. We are starting off with Structures Plus. That is a mod that I am absolutely in love with. A lot of people that like to build typically use that mod as it is. Then we've got resource stacks. We have Reusable Plus, Death Helper, Super Spyglass, Upgrade Station, Starter's Chest, Glass Metal, the Egg and Poop Collector and Incubator, Better Supply Drops, and Bulk Crafters. So what does all this mean for you? Specifically, I want to find a way to give back to the community, and I want to find a way to kind of offset some of the cost that I incur doing this, and this is the best way that I can think of. So as I earn more money, I will be contributing more money to getting these servers up and running. I'm starting with Ark. Hopefully we can bridge into a Conan Exiles server, possibly a Space Engineers after that. Once we have those 3 different servers set up, we're going to move back, and we plan on creating 2 additional Ark servers to put them in a cluster. So let's talk about this season. Once we get things rolling, because right now it's just me and my neighbor on the server, so we're just going to play and goof off and build some stuff and tame some stuff. But once we get rolling on the server, the idea is to do something a little different than what has been done by other YouTubers. And I've seen a lot of stuff similar to this, but the way that I'm hoping to set it up is going to be, at least hopefully, different. So we're going to do a sort of Game of Thrones style season once we get people on the server. It's going to be PvE. We do have Tribe Wars enabled, and there's going to be a small role-playing aspect. Not so intense that you have to speak in a specific voice or that you have to fit a specific skill set or be able to craft certain things. Like, it's not like that. It's more a sense of we're going to have sort of a rank structure. We are hoping to get large tribes, the 3 main large tribes of around 10 people. Those will be considered the 3 separate empires that represent the different obelisks. And then within their territory, they will have kingdoms, and those kingdoms will be tribes between 3 and 6 people, and those kingdoms will kind of report to their overseeing empires. Within those kingdoms, there will be, farm towns, commoners, that kind of stuff. So if you are a solo player, if you like to play solo, then building a farm town, taming a couple of stuff, and going and gathering and doing that could very well suit you. You would fall under the rule of a kingdom, and then that kingdom would report to an empire. Some of the things that we're considering as time goes on and as the server builds up its player base is, once we get into the actual way that all of this is going to work out, we're going to talk about how if a group of commoners decide that they don't like the empire that they fall under or the kingdom that they fall under, they could form a militia, overthrow that kingdom, obviously set up a tribe war, band together, destroy that kingdom, and then those commoners, as long as they fit within those tribe limits of what would require a kingdom, they would become a tribe, they would become that kingdom, and they would take over that area. And then the kingdom tribe would have to be split out into commoners and that kind of stuff. And then if they wanted to take their kingdom back, they would form their militia and they would come back together and they would try to overthrow that ruling kingdom that ousted them. Other things to keep into consideration are empires may impose a tax, and if that tax is too much for the commoners or the kingdoms, and the kingdoms decide that they want to rebel against the empires, that would be a thing. We're going to talk about a couple of rules to kind of smooth out the way that this works. Specifically, a tribunal area. The center floating island is going to be the tribunal, so if any of the empires have a dispute that they want to solve peacefully without engaging in conflict, they would take it to the tribunal. The tribunal is basically the admins of the server, and those different empires would essentially come together and they would talk. The leaders of those empires would talk and they would try to hash stuff out. The tribunal would listen and they would say, this empire is right, or this empire is wrong, or you're both sort of right and this is the solution that I have for you. And the idea is to increase the fun aspect of the game. So when it comes to people that may be griefing, but they're not griefing so intensely that you need to report them to the admins, you can go this route instead. Other things like if some of the commoners, some of the townsfolk, the farmers, that kind of stuff, if one of them goes and steals stuff from another farmer and they fall under different empires or they fall within the same empire, they could take it to their serving kingdom, their empire, say, this is the problem that I have with this guy, he stole some stuff from me and we need to hash it out. There's additional rules in here, but the one final thing I want to talk about is actually the admin logging. We have enabled admin logging on the server, and this is so that if you guys do feel like there's some sort of admin abuse, you can report it, you can screenshot what you saw in the chat, the admin log, and you can post it in our Discord channel, specifically for admin appeals and bans and all of that stuff. The only people that are able to make any edits to that channel is me. All of my admins, they can read that channel, they can talk in that channel, they can, help you hash out issues within that Discord channel, but as far as deleting old messages, that is me and only me, because I want a healthy, happy server, and I don't want somebody saying, hey, admin so-and-so did this, and then admin so-and-so says, no, I didn't, and then the person who feels that there was admin abuse can, come back and say, well, that person deleted my post within the Discord channel. So completely alleviating that. So how do you join? If you go down into the description, you're going to see a link to patreon.com/LittleEagle, L1 TTLE3AGLE. There's different tiers in there for donations and support and that kind of stuff. The first one is a single $1 a month, and Patreon takes their cut, so it's not really a full $1 that I get. But that's, if out of the kindness of your heart you wish to help kind of offset some of the costs of people using ad blocker and that kind of stuff. The next tier is $5 a month, and that gives you access to the server. That gives you access to all of these rules, the great admins that we will have, as well as playing with me. I will be recording on this server primarily. Any future seasons that I have coming up, any future ideas that I have coming up will be based off of these Patreon servers. So any games that I'm playing that are server based, they will be on these servers. So beyond that, there are additional tiers, and they are all explained within Patreon, what benefits you gain. The next one, and probably the only one worth mentioning at this point, is the $10 tier. That basically would get you whitelisted on the server so that if the server does become full, you would be able to access the server without any kind of delay or anything like that, without being told, hey, the server's too full, you can't join. There's a couple of other benefits there within Patreon. I'm not going to get too much into it. My main drive right now, honestly, is being able to continue providing these servers for you guys, because my neighbor did tell me that he's really only going to pay for this first month just so that we can get it up and running, so that I can record some videos and show you guys where I'm playing, offer you guys the chance to come play with me, and hopefully we can drive this Patreon campaign and get more players on this server. If it doesn't happen at the end of this month, we're probably going to take down the server, and I will find a new home to record at until I can drive the Patreon campaign to actually offset the cost of the server fees. Again, thank you guys so very much. If you have questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, if there's stuff that you would like to see, if you're a little confused about what is Patreon or anything like that, drop those comments in the section below. Let me know. I really hope to see you guys here on the server, and I'll see you next time.